Welcome to Focus on Functioning Fascia. What is fascia? When I ask my classes, most hands will go up if I've asked, have you heard the word fascia? But if I ask, who knows what fascia is, most of those hands will go down. So what is fascia? It is a network of connective tissue that separates each muscle, that surrounds each organ. It penetrates each muscle and each organ as well and connects it to bone, connects organ to muscle. But also, it's like this membranic sac goes around each muscle and each organ to help them glide independently, muscles anyway. We want each muscle to be able to articulate, ideally articulate on their own, glide freely. But things can get in the way of functioning properly, as we know. And so one of the things is stress, right? It's something that we all face and manage, oftentimes with yoga, energy work like Reiki and things like that, communicating with nature, hanging out in nature, walking in the forest, all great things to kind of de-stress. But to understand how fascia can be impeded by stress, when we're stressed out, we emit a stress hormone called cortisol. And what it does is it gets our fascia kind of sticky. Same thing happens if we get a flu or a cold. Our body's kind of fighting things off and things can get stuck. So if you have a place, say in your spine, say maybe on your shoulder, where your fascia has gotten stuck, that's going to affect mobility other places along the line, down maybe up into your neck, maybe down across the other side of your back. So it's going to limit your mobility. So to keep fascia functioning properly, we want to manage our stress. We want to drink water, right? A lot of good reasons why we need to stay hydrated. One of them is to keep our fascia nice and fluid. Also, speaking of mobility, synovial fluid in our joints to keep ourselves nice and fluid. Stay hydrated. So that's a couple of things that you can do to help keep your fascia functioning. And the other is movement, which I'm going to just guide you through a little bit of movement. In general, movement, gliding movement, flowing movement is really great for your fascia. Just opening, bending, and straightening joints so that we can really stretch out the fascia and the muscles, keeping ourselves nice and agile and moving, dance breaks. But I want to show you how connective fascia is by giving you this little exercise. So I'm just going to slide back to make sure you can see my feet, because that's essential to this exercise. We're going to stretch out our feet so that we can get more mobility in the neck. You know, that sounds kind of crazy. They're so far away from each other. How are they connected? Well, I'll show you. So we're going to sit in a stable chair, sitting up nice and tall off the back of the chair, sitting upright. Gently, we're going to let our heads fall back and just see where your eyes land. Get the mark, remind yourself where it is, and then take your hand on the back of your head and bring your head back upright. We want to support our necks. Going back is not the healthiest thing to do, but with support and just for this exercise, it's okay. So now that we have that marker of where our eyes landed, how far back our neck could go, we're going to stretch out our feet and see if we can go a little further. So you're going to extend your right leg out. You're going to flex your foot. I think I need to go to the side a little. And then you're going to curl your toes, dome, point the toes toward the floor, and then slide your foot back flat until it comes back under the knee. Now you're going to keep the ball mound on the floor and just lift your toes. Sometimes I see the whole foot. You want to just lift the toes. Lower the toes, and again, extend, flex, curl, dome, point, draw the foot in, lift just the toes, lower. Last time, extend, flex, curl, dome, point, draw the foot in, lift the toes, and lower. And now we're going to do the other side. I'm just coming to that side to show you on the screen. Extend the left leg, flex the foot, curl the toes, dome, point, draw the foot in, lift the toes, and lower. Again, extend, flex, curl, dome, point, draw the foot in, lift the toes, and lower. Last time, extend, flex, curl, dome, point, draw the foot in, lift the toes, and lower. Now that we've stretched out our feet, and you might have noticed we stretched out up into the calves and stuff too. Let's see how far we can go. So keeping nice and tall, gently let the head fall back. Whoa, how far back did you go? Once you can see the difference, bring your hand on your head and lift your head back up. Did you get any further? It's kind of crazy. It's always like a magic trick to me doing this exercise, but it just illustrates how important it is for movement and just yeah, for movement. Just movement is so important. When we sit and stagnate, it just kind of like, we get crunchy and crispy. We want to keep nice and fluid and open and flowy. So this is an exercise you can try on your friends, your family, and show them. If there's someone in your family you've been trying to get into movement that's like, it's not so important or is resistant in any way, maybe share this exercise and say, wow, see how much further you can get in just moving your feet. Imagine having a regular movement practice and what that can do for mobility in your life, just having a better quality of life, even if you don't have other fitness goals other than having a quality of life for as long as possible. The other thing you can do, which is even less work than moving, dance, breaking, which I highly recommend you work up to if you can. But if you have someone who's really resistant, I have this foot care basket, which you may have seen in another video, that has certain tools that we can do to stretch out the fascia in our feet. And now that you see how much of an effect it has going all the way up, it might give you a little more motivation to do it if you haven't. So little tennis balls, little super balls, things like that. If you have in a bucket next to the television while you're half hour of TV, take your tennis ball on the floor, press your foot onto the tennis ball and massage from the heel, the ball mound, the plantar fascia, which is at the center of the foot, all the way to the heel, under the toes. And then you can graduate to one of these little bouncy balls and get deeper into the fascia. Oh, it's like a foot massage. And do that on both feet. Just make sure it's not on a wood floor because you might need a goalie. So that's something that can really be instrumental in keeping your fascia open. If you have tight feet, I heard from one of my teachers that the number one reason we wind up in nursing homes is because we lose the dexterity in our feet. We can't manage to get ourselves around. So the more you keep your feet flexible, the more independence you'll have, and the more you stretch out your fascia, the more mobility you'll have and the better quality of life. So if you want to see other movements that we did to stretch out our fascia, you can check out my Patreon page where I did a whole yoga practice with dynamic flowing movements that help to move the entire fascic network around your body. So you can check that out on Patreon. The link is below. If you find this helpful, please let me know. I love to hear success stories and how these exercises help you and your loved ones to live a better life. So thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.